Hi everyone, it's your boy this Modesty. I know it's been a while. Man has been sick. So basically, today, the first day of the month, and it is Sunday. I just finished church and we had this little discussion in church, which I'll be uploading very soon. So it's about planning the debate, because there was a lot of chaos. Like, people were saying a lot of stuffs, and people weren't agreeing with others and all that stuff. So I had to end the video. So please, it's your first time seeing me, it's the first time looking at this video, don't forget to like, give me a thumbs up, tell me what you think about this video. And it's a long video though, so you have to take your time and listen to what people have said about it.
100,000. No, 8,000 in my account. How am I going to achieve that? I have to save £500 every month, right? And I can do that if I do it like that. But if I say, okay, I'm going to do that, but I don't know how I'm going to save every month, then you fail. So as believers, God has given us this great grace to plan for our life. And while we are planning, He will be what? He will sustain us in it, right? And then it's also said in 1 Corinthians chapter 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24. When the Bible talks about running the race, when you are running a race, no athlete think about being 10th at the 10th position, or at the 5th position, or at the 2nd position. Every athlete thinks about being at the first position. So if you're planning for your future, you have to think about reaching higher and higher and higher. So next year I'm going to uni, I'm going to study nursing. I want to finish with first class. How am I going to do that? So break it down and you succeed in that. Amen. Yeah. Any questions? There are so many questions for this topic. so many topics.
And what was the previous quotation?
As an example of, like, you want to save money as planning.
Yeah.
So you still have to go lower.
Yeah.
All right. So every day I'm going to save like £10. How am I going to save £10? All right. Maybe I like eating sweetie a lot. So instead of buying £1 sweetie, I'll buy 50p sweetie. That is when you find a way of saving it. Because if you want to save and you don't know how you're going to save it, you can't save the money. So you have to cut some things down in order. So it's part of the plan, like going really down the plan. That means you have to find a way to do it. That means you need to cut some stuff down, or you need to add some stuff into it in order to save that money you want to save.
Yeah,
so
thank you, Auntie. So when you are writing your plans down, you have to know your strengths and your weakness. So my weakness is that I will eat a lot of chocolates, and that one is me. I know it. I'll buy a lot of chocolates. Every time I work, sometimes I'll go out and be like, when I come in, there's like, chocolates? Like, yes. I went to the shop to buy chocolate. That's me. And so sometimes when I'm like, I have to stop this, and they'll be like, my colleagues will be like, next week you start again, so don't say that. Yeah, you have to know your weaknesses and your strengths. And the strengths have to overcome your weakness. And that's the only way you can become a winner. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. And then in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 22, can you read it for us, please?
15.
22.
Proverbs chapter 15. Verse 22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed.
Yes. Sometimes we need advice. When your parents are trying to advise you, or your peers are trying to advise you, some of us, we try to close ourselves. Like, this is my wish. I want to be a nurse. So why are you saying that I won't succeed in that? Sometimes you need people's advice. Like I said, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I had all the qualities to become a fashion designer because I know how to draw. But so many people told me that you are good in architecture, you are good in drawing, building, and all those kind of stuff. So why don't you pursue that dream? And all I was thinking for some time was like, I'll be a fashion designer, I'll be a great stylist, and that will be Teddy design. That was all that I was thinking. But later on, when I sat down, and my parents also told me that I don't think fashion designer will help you, and also as Christian, maybe it won't help you. And my dad was like, it's not that all Christians, it's not that not all fashion designers are unbelievers. Many of them are Christians. It depends what you are planning to do, Anna. But I don't think that will help you. As for you, I don't think that will help you. I took that advice. For some time, for a certain period, I thought they were like just saying to me that don't follow your dream. So I was like, whatever. But then later on, I sat down, I prayed over it. God, what do you want me to do? Because I didn't know what to do at that point, but I was still going to uni. So I was going to uni, but I didn't know what I was going to do. But then in the end, I found out that architecture would be the right choice for me. So listen to people's advice. Listen to your peers' advice. If you don't know what you want to do, ask somebody. Ask Mama Nancy. She will say to you, I think nursing is not good for you. Maybe you can do this, you can do that, you can be an engineer, you can be that. Ask around. I mean, asking around doesn't mean that you have to let their advice influence you if it's a bad advice. You have to take a good advice and pray for the final solution to come from God. Amen. Yeah. And we also have to learn to be patient, because sometimes we want to lose 20 kilos, but then we are not patient. We're eating and be like saying the following day, oh, I'm not losing any kilo. Even the 0.5 kilo a day, I'm not losing it. So I'm not going to achieve that goal. No, you have to be patient. If you are starting something, you will start slow. But later on, like, bless you, later on, you see the benefit. You see that you're growing. You see that all things are coming for your good. Amen. Amen. The Bible says that all things work for good for those who love the Lord. Do you love the Lord? Yes. Then you have to believe this. You have to believe that everything that you are planning will work for the good for you. If it's not right, and you have given everything to God, He will direct you to the right way. Like I say, I was in uni, but I didn't know what I was going to be. But He has directed me to the right way. Amen. Amen. Yeah. And I've already said that you have to think realistically, right? Yeah, you have to be realistic. Sometimes you know that you can't become a doctor because you can't see blood. For me, I can't see blood. So there is no way that I'll be a doctor, but I want to be a doctor. What? I mean, even common sense can tell you that you won't be a doctor, but you still want to be a doctor. So please.
If let's say they say everything we should believe in God. Say I know myself I can't be a doctor. So what if I pray about it? Is it a possibility that I'm gonna be a doctor one day?
You prayed about it,
yeah.
And God.
Say myself, I know I can't be a doctor. I'm scared of blood.
Yeah.
But my mind is telling me if I pray about it, maybe there's gonna be a miracle one day. And then
okay.
Because
your mind
they say,
is telling you.
Yeah, they say if you pray, you pray to God.
Yeah.
And if you believe in it, it's gonna come.
That's a very interesting.
It's gonna come. So me myself, I don't believe in myself, but when I pray, I know God is gonna do it. Is there a possibility that it can happen that way?
Yeah. Who can answer that question?
I mean, when we talk about being realistic, when we planning is to achieve something.
Yeah.
That's the main purpose of planning. Planning is like setting up an aim and a goal, and then at the end you want to achieve it. So we are talking about being realistic here. And if you go straight to the Bible, the Word of God makes us understand that before we were formed, God knew us. God knew that you'd be here today. God knows like the career you pick in the future. So before that, God is even gonna give you the strength, like the idea. Like as Anna was saying that she's good at drawing. Now that drawing can take her to many places. That can make her be the fashion designer she wants to be. That can make her be an engineer, an architect, various ways. So if you know yourself that maybe this is not for you, everybody has their path. So saying that, I can't stand blood, but I want to be a doctor, so I want to pray to God. Fine, you can pray to God about it. But then is that what God, and then you have to know that God has given us our own free will. So because you're praying doesn't mean that automatically God is going to make you be a doctor.
Yeah, but normally when we're in church, they say your ways are not the ways of God.
Yeah.
So, if I can recall, last week probably, they said if you need something, pray about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you shouldn't rely too much on humans. So, let's say the same question, say I want to be a doctor, I'm scared. I don't rely on human, I rely on God for him to give a way, a path. So me believing, like me giving myself and believing in God, I don't know if you understand. The question is there a possible way that God will make a way for me? Although me myself, I don't have faith, because they say in everything,
Live to God.
live to God.
Yeah.
Your question answers you don't have faith, so how's it
Okay.
going to happen? If you don't
So-
have faith in
That's not
yourself,
about faith. It's
it's
not
not
about
gonna
faith.
happen.
It is
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
Yeah. If you desire something, you know I'm scared. I'm scared of cutting onion. I'll cut my finger.
Yeah.
And I desire it. I want to cut onion.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Yeah.
You have to conquer your fears. So that's the first step you have to take. So if that is what you want, you first pray to God and say, God, I know I'm very scared of blood, but I want to be a doctor. I want to heal people when they are ill. So if that is what you want me to be, that means I want you to help me to overcome my fears, to reach my goals. So when you start that means you are going to start preparing yourself confidently. Because you don't have confidence over yourself, that's why you are scared of the blood. Like, I'm scared of blood, so the confidence is low. So when you ask God, and if the will of God for you to become a doctor, like how you want to, but because you're scared of blood, you don't want to do it, God will help you. And so, in a physical realm, you have to fight against your fear because you want to do it. And a spiritual realm, invite God to help you, to guide you through the path of the thing that what you want to be. So it's really possible you can be a doctor.
You can be it if you are if you are very determined. Some of us can't do it because we want, but we are not determined. But if you are very determined, and if you have a very strong faith that God is going to change you no matter what, you have to fast and pray, and you have to walk against the devil. It might be that something is blocking your way. It might be that something is pulling you down. Yeah, I'll come to you. But you have to work hard. Otherwise, it will be as Jenny is saying. The two ways can happen. Her answer is good, and your answer is also
Don't
good.
forget, no one knows what God want them to be.
Yes.
You know that. You don't know. Unless you ask for the lights. You ask God, you know what, God, please direct me. You may think that you are scared of blood, you can't be a doctor. Maybe that is what God wants you to be. How would you know? We are human. So the best thing is you pray to God and work towards it. And along the line, if it's not what you want to be, trust me, you will drop down. You understand? Yeah.
If
So
it's
that's
not
what I
God's
believe.
will for you,
Yes,
He will
if it's not
direct
God,
you another
exactly,
way.
you go a different way.
Yeah.
You can be like maybe a doctor, but not a surgeon who see blood. You can be a GP who can just sit in the GP and look in the books, doctors and look in the books and tell you when your head is hurting. You understand what I mean? Because when you becoming a doctor, you have a different path. We have the surgeons and we have the consultants and we have the GPs. You understand?
That's what
So
we
you can-
need, because some of us think that being a doctor,
You have to see blood by 4.
Yes, but they don't know that there are different groups. I mean, even in my field,
Yeah.
architecture, we have constructors, we have planning engineers, we have so many things in it. It's not, we have technical designers. It's not that you are an architect and you are doing the building. You can't do the building without all these people. Yeah.
Yes, I'm adding on to what she said.
Yes.
These are the reasons why you shouldn't rely on friends or advisors, and just read the Bible and follow what they say, because your thoughts and conscience is being influenced by friends, and sometimes friends, opinion on your future is different. So therefore, you should just follow your instinct. Read the Bible, pray, fast as well.
Please, we got pizzas and drinks here, so you can. Otherwise, I get you. Yeah, thank you. That's a good point, because you don't have to let the people around you. I said previously that you have to ask people. If you don't know what you want to do in your future, you have to ask. But that's another point. You have to choose your friends very well. If you have friends that don't know what they want to do in life, they are going to influence you automatically. But if you have friends that have aim, like for example, my friend is Roberta, and she has a strong aim. What do you want to do, please? I don't remember. Embryology. And she is very determined to do that. She's my friend. Of course, going out with her, seeing her determination will influence me. But if I want to achieve something, my friend is no one here. And that person is like going out partying every day. Of course, she will say to me, let's go party, let's do this, let's do that. And at the end of the day, I won't accomplish my goal.
And some friends don't want you to prosper. So you need to realize that as well. Birds of the same feather flock together. And it's important to have people that want to achieve the same thing and want to excel in life rather than be stagnant and be comfortable in where they are. Because at the end of the day, you might write down your plan, but God's plan is different for you. He wants you to do great, and you are staying the same level just because of that friend, of that group that you're so comfortable in. So it's important to go out of your comfort zone and sometimes choose different people to go around, and transformation is important to achieve greatness. Amen.
I have a question. The Bible says in Matthew chapter 6, Matthew chapter 6, that we shouldn't worry about tomorrow. What will happen tomorrow? And the Lord knows everything before even we ask. And the Lord is saying for us that we have to plan.
I think there's a difference between worrying and
we shouldn't worry about the future. So that means that I'm committing everything to God. I'm living day by day. Right? Some people do that, and they say that. So many Christians. We say, you don't have to worry, you have to commit everything to God. And I'm living day by day. But then the Bible also says that you have to plan. Jesus said that, which one of you will build a tower without estimating the cost? So that means that you have to estimate everything. But then I'm also saying that I shouldn't worry. I have to cast all my burdens to God. Can you answer?
I think it comes with faith and belief. Like they're not worried today, but they're planning. That's how I picture it. Like if you have faith in God, you leave everything into His hand. So for me, I like planning. Like for the next day, what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to eat, I can do that like in a monthly basis. I always plan ahead. But not worrying is putting all the faith and trust in God. That even though I have my own plans, God can also come in and have His own way. So I think like firstly it's about putting it into the hands of God and having faith. Yeah.
I disagree.
Disagree. How? How many disagree? Because you say you didn't walk. Can you summarize?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you
So I said, like,
please,
let's get the food first, right? Let's just get the food.
yeah, because as I said,
So at this point, we had to get something to eat because things were running and time was going so quick. So people were complaining that they were hungry as well. So we had to eat. They had a short break to continue our discussion.
please, why are you eating?
What's the question again, please?
Yeah, the question or
Guess was July. You said we'll be back.
You, the baby have questions. When will you ever answer?
I say, exactly saying that we shouldn't worry for tomorrow, right? To be an accountant. But then you apply for a work placement, and through that work placement, you realize that actually accountant was not the right choice for you. That's why you decided to be a software engineer. So what I'm saying is that how can you advise those who won't have the opportunity to go into work placement and then realize that that's not
So I'm saying in the
the
first
best choice
place,
for them?
you should have like a plan A and plan B.
Yeah.
That would be really useful. And obviously they have to be different. They can't both be too similar. So let's say if you haven't got the chance to do something like a work placement or whatever, then you can back it with research or asking people that have been through that work placement or at those current positions and ask them and try to find out more. And then as you're finding out more, you should be able to find out whether this is really what you want to do or maybe the plan A is the one that you want to do. And then that might not be enough for a solid decision, but as people say, it's never too late. So start with one. If that's not working, then scrap it and go to the other one.
Okay, so about what Callum is saying,
Yeah, but okay, you said
Anna,
some.
about what Callum is talking about.
You
Yeah?
said some.
We are talking about God. We are in the church.
No,
In
he's
this way.
talking about his career.
Yeah,
What he
but
wants to
yeah,
do in his career.
it's linking to what we were talking about earlier on. About relying on God. Callum, a question. Did you pray about it before applying or going to uni or something like that? Did you pray about it?
Did I pray before going to uni?
No, did you pray about it before applying or maybe deciding to do you're doing computer science now, yeah?
Obviously,
When you were doing accounting, yeah, you didn't know what you wanted to do, yeah? Did you pray about it or you asked people to help you out? Or you decided like you figure out things yourself and switched your mind to do IT or something?
So mainly I asked people. I did a few prayers now and then in church about my education as well.
Well, we want the truth, don't lie.
Yeah, that's what he
Okay,
said.
we want the truth, don't lie. Because we're talking about a topic that is really important. Like most of us don't put effort. All what they do is like rely on God without not putting effort. You get me? So we want the truth. Just say what really happened. Like what
Can I
happened
say
to you.
something about what he said? He said that he asked for the people. He asked questions to the people already in the field. So you made research about IT or research about the thing that you wanted to do.
Because also
That's why we lack, because we just like sometimes we rely on God, but we don't do any research. We just say I'm doing IT and that's all. You have to go into the field, make your research, and after that you will see if that is good or not for you.
So that's in my point.
Oh, come on.
Very nice.
Go on.
Very nice.
So, but do we all agree? Like, do we all agree?
We're
Because
talking about the practical aspect.
Yeah.
Praying is a different one. Like obviously, as Christian, the first thing is to go to God with the plan. But what are you doing?
Yeah, but
Apart from the prayer.
The action that you are taking, right?
Yeah.
from what he's saying, I didn't hear him saying like I prayed about it, or he said he asked.
He said that he prayed
Oh,
in
okay.
church.
Obviously,
about
now and
it.
then, like on a Sunday basis.
Yes, that's what he said.
Now and then.
That's why he didn't get a right answer from God. So he decided to do accountant. And then he realized that wasn't good for him. So he digested. So his prayer wasn't solid.
Yeah, it wasn't a solid. My decision was solidly based on the research.
On the research.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't on God, it was on research.
So it means that he failed along the way, but then later on he came back on track.
Oh, okay. So if I'm doing something and I do research instead of praying first, I go and do research. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's not bad. That's the why. That's
Yeah, but they said in everything
God says
put God first,
commit
didn't it?
your works to God. So you have to plan. And when you plan,
now what child put to go first today. But who put her then first? Now what was it? Maybe I say you made sentimental and Juma. What put to go first? But I saw to and if I say,
that's why I asked the question about.
Like if you don't do your research, what are you praying about? Lord, please.
Like, you need to do your research and you can pray about it. But they are praying saying I mean Sevilla. It's actually young boy Juma. Because you can say they're saying I mean Sunny and young boy Juma. And yeah, Juma.
To the next question.
No, we are actually like, one of the main reasons.
You can't sit there, okay, God will do when you be sitting there waiting for God to come and do it for you.
Oh, that's why I asked you that question. That the Bible says that we do not have to worry about tomorrow.
One of the main reasons. One of the main reasons that we wanted to talk about this one, as Santana was saying, like, when we talk about planning, it's always about like praying. But wait, it's like we want to bring to like the critical world, like the physical reality. If I say I want to be a nurse and I'm going to pray about it, Gertrude is asking like, how is the answer going to come to me from God?
Exactly.
That this is what God is telling me. Go and be a lawyer. Go and be a nurse.
Okay.
And then not just that. Before you pick a career, like me, for instance, the main reason I picked this topic for us to treat today was like, when we pick a career, what do we know about it? Because me, from like back home in London, like when I was working before I started uni, they always say, do nursing. And in my head, I cannot do nursing. Like, I can't. And they don't know that like nursing, pardon?
Why not?
Why not? Because like, I have a different, like, I'm doing like a side course. Yeah, it's what I'm doing like almost half of nursing. But I cannot do nursing as a career.
Yeah.
That's me. But then they don't know, like, they even in the nursing, there's different aspects of nursing.
Yeah.
It's just not going to the hospital and working. That's not nursing. That's nursing. But there's different ways. You can be a nurse and actually like be like work in the World Health Organization. It's different, but we don't know that. So all our mindset is, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a solicitor, I want to be a doctor. What kind of doctor do you want to be? What kind of
you
nurse?
can be a nurse, and be working in work. But that it actually requires another qualification.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Just
We don't know, like, me, for instance, I picked my course to do a uni. I didn't know what the course entails. Yeah, I didn't know what the course entails. All I wanted to do was like, I want to study biomedical science. What does it entail? When I finish, what am I going to do? You know, but if we talk about it now and we start with God first, and then we make the next steps, the next plans, then we know that, oh, maybe when I pick this career path, this is where I'm going. This is the question that I can ask. I want to go into like accounting, into business management. This is the things I have to do. this is the things I have to follow, but we don't do that. And as Christians, we have to be wise in all ways. So putting God first, and then what's the next step? So let's just take this like as we are here and like try to figure out the next steps and the next move.
One thing was when you said, "Oh yeah, how am I going to know that God said that that's the one that has to?" I think like in this real world, I don't know. God is not going to come from heaven and shout and you know for example for myself when I wanted to do I wanted to do medicine, like everyone who does biomedical science, but they wanted to do medicine. But I looked at myself, I was like, this is not looking good. So I spoke to my dad, and my dad was like, I don't know anything about it. I've been praying about it, but I don't know anything about it. So go to someone who knows. So I went to my pastor indicated me to someone who was doing biomedical science. So I was like, God, I don't know if I want to do this because it's very practical. I'm really not. So I said, God, give me a sign. I'm gonna apply to this thing university. So God, please give me a sign. If the response from this university or if I go to the offer day or whatever it is positive, then this means that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not sure, but this is what I'm supposed to do. So basically, after all of this, I prayed to God and whatnot. So the day came where we were supposed to come here for to stoke for the first time for offer day. And the first step that we went to the train and then went into the train, and then when we came when we got down from the train, I felt at peace in myself. And when we went inside the uni, the way the students and the lecturers were behaving towards me, it gave me that type of this is what I'm supposed to be. So then afterwards I spoke to Peter. I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be. So it was not gonna be something very direct. God is going to go here.
That's why I say that you need patience as well. Because the answer is not coming right. It can be through somebody. It can be through process.
And besides, if you're doing something and it's not right, you know it's not right. Just imagine.
Yeah, man.
If you're doing something and you're right, if you do not feel it right inside you, it's not right. You can be doing something and not.
But I think you're
never
happy about
the wrong career.
Yeah,
but you have to go every day to that place and you're like,
we can really our purpose.
You're not being paid for
because sometimes we don't. Sometimes we think career way now. We are being a Jumante. This is what I do, I'll get money. We think about that, but is that what God also is that the will of God? That's another thing we have to do.
Guys, in our Ghanaian community, our parents sometimes they lack of a little bit of knowledge. Yeah, they concentrate on the money side, like you were saying. When I step foot in this country, everyone's telling me go and do nursing. Yeah. I'm a caterer. I've been doing catering my whole life since I was young. So, and I've been working in catering in Ghana before I came here. I'm a caterer. But everyone is pushing me to do this. It's because of the money. It's because of the you rely on the government because at that time you have bursary, isn't it? You don't pay school fees. They'll give you money to spend as well. But now nursing are paying, isn't it? Yeah. But before we wasn't paying. All right. So I was so confused. Then someone also said, "Can you do? You can also do receptionist because it's another source of money." Is that what I desired?
Nope.
All right. But I said to myself, I was really, really confused because I actually had 2 kids at that time. So, my life, I'm getting older, so I need to choose something to do. So I was, to be honest, prayer is very important, like you were saying. I wasn't praying towards my career. I knew this is what I wanted to be. I wasn't praying towards it. My dad wanted me to be an air-hostess. Why? Because I'm beautiful, I'm slim, and he looked to me, I was being slim and beautiful, so that time I was really slim. That's the reason why my dad wanted me to do, and I chose it. So I worked towards it, and until I get to the point that where the direction I was going is wrong. It's about, it took me to catering, and I came to this country and they said I should do nursing, so I was a bit confused. But what my brother came and said to me, what do you really like doing? It's about your instincts. Yes. What do you really enjoy doing? look at this country, look at the whole world, everyone likes food. So if you are a caterer, do you think you can't get a job to do?
Yeah.
So sometimes the advice people give is we need to really be cautious with ourselves, because when you listen to your parents' advice, it's good, but you need to do your research as well on top of what your parents. And sometimes your parent doesn't know. If you do the research, go and show it to them.
Yeah.
Say, Mom, this is what this is saying. This is what this is saying.
Yeah.
Then when you show it to them, they may understand.
Yeah.
Because this our country, all we need is want you to do be lawyers, doctors, exactly. Nurses. So you need to do a research. And I'll finish it here. I told my daughter, yeah, you are going to sixth form. You are not going to college. Because I decide sometimes.
Sixth form is very good. Yeah.
And I said, come on. And I said to her again as well, I chose to career for her. It's like I chose.
Yeah.
I said, you can be a lawyer, then you can be a doctor. Both of them. But I wanted her to be a lawyer because she can really talk. You know what she did? She went to research, both sixth form and college. And she came back to me and said to me, I'm taking the sixth form because when I research sixth form, I will have, it's not a big crowd. Yeah. It's a small crowd, so the teachers will have time for me. So I'm taking sixth form. But she was arguing with me because she thought college is more open because you have your independence. But now when she did the research, she realized that sixth form, they have more time with you than college because college, because of the amount of people there, the teachers can't spend a lot of time with you. Yeah. So I'm just giving you a bit of idea upon these two things. Then I said to her to be a lawyer. You know what she did? She chose subjects. She chose business. Then she chose history on top of geography. Why? Because she did the research and I help her. So according to the research, what is going to direct you to what you want to be? So this is what we should do. At even our young age, you need to start doing a research on what you want to do. I know the money is important, but the research will help you, it will direct you. Because when we went to the career, you know, this career advisor, they couldn't give me any advice about, they will tell you, oh, I think so, but your research will help you. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I've got a big question, right? No, listen. No, the finish. We don't answer the question, we just jump. You guys are making mistakes. The question is asked. There is the question. It has to be answered before we go on. Because we don't answer the question.
Which one? Someone wants to ask a question here.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, there are some parents who do not like being challenged. They don't like because they think that they have the harder experience. They think they must be.
Can I say something quick?
But we are born and bred in the UK.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't have the mentality back in Ghana that they think that because of that mentality, that is the form of content.
Yeah, but
So as soon as this topic came out,
scientific,
scientific
black people or the black parents, they think because of that experience in Africa,
It's the same.
Wait.
yeah, but it's not, because in the UK and in the Africa is so
different.
It's a huge difference.
Absolutely. These are two different countries or continents.
Yes.
In the UK, we have more chance to succeed.
Yes.
In Africa, we also have chances, but it's less than,
Yes.
Exactly. So therefore, you see, we are now in, so all I'm saying is that the black parents think that they have more knowledge and that, but
They have more knowledge
on some things.
Whatever they want to do. Is that what you mean?
Of course, your parents have knowledge.
Yeah,
More
but
knowledge because they have more experience.
Experience.
Experience is what gives you. Wait, let me finish. You say that you were talking. Experience is what gives you knowledge.
Okay.
But then, if you are talking about your career, about what you want to choose, you have to sit down with your parents and let them understand that this is what I'm going to do here in UK.
Yeah, but
It's not the same. I know.
Well, I understood what Anna just said, but Anna, man, from my point of view, like, not all of your parents could give their chance, to give a chance to the children, like, to talk to them and share their opinion. You know what I mean? Like, African parents will always be African parents. They were brought up in some way, so that is gonna be really hard for some kids or some people to do that.
Right? I know the banana can research. I know the next but and you girls who boys in a room so. Say me see Ruben your doctor. Now me my junior
You just saw that, innit? Auntie Nancy is trying to slap someone because she's a parent. African parents, they like slapping, innit? Anyways, she was trying to explain the reason why most parents don't allow their kids like to choose what they want, because some of them don't have any clue of what they want, and most of them as well don't approach things well with the parents. You get me? And she made an example of herself trying to let her son be a doctor, but at the end she herself doesn't know it, or she herself has no clue of how the son is going to be a doctor, but she wants the son to be a doctor. So it's kind of like she wants the good for her son. Literally, she's talking about all African parents. They want good for their son, but they have no clue of how their son are gonna like achieve their goals. So what she's trying to say is probably maybe they should come to them, the children or the youth should research, come to them and probably bring their research to them and prove to them that what they want to do is this, so that they will understand.
It's important how you speak to your parents. Like, for example, for me, my dad doesn't have time at all. My parents don't have time at all. And every time that I can go to my dad is when he's in the office and he's writing stuff, and I'll be like, Dad, okay, I'm your daughter. 3 seconds for me. Daddy, you look cute today. Wow, nice, come on. And then I literally just sit there and be like, Dad, this is what's going on in my life, and I need advice. I need you to speak to me. And this is how you're going to do it. Because some parents, let me tell you, some African parents, they think they are superior because that's the point. Let's say you have this one mom. Every time like when you go to your mom, you'll be like, Mom, please. Like the way you wouldn't make us sometimes like relax, or sometimes like relax, or like just find a way. When she's more relaxed, when she's more like, you need to find a way that you can like get the way. Like no, get listen. Can I just finish? And you carry on doing it. It's normal that they're not gonna listen.
Yeah, so guys, as I said earlier on,
you're not trying to because your parents do not know you on that level that you know you. So hold yourself around them. Hold yourself around them. They're not gonna hold them. Everybody wants to hold yourself around them. No, I mean, African parents are too fair. They are not when they are watching
next time,
I'm ready.